like to start by saying that I think that there will always, and there is always, something about the game of football which is like the human-driven magic and the heat of the moment kind of things where we as players might decide to change things in the very last minute, and no mathematical model could ever predict that, right? And I think this is part of what makes the game beautiful. And I don't think that this will change regardless of how far the technology advances. What I think will happen though is that in modern football, coaches and analysts have to spend a lot of time analyzing the things that have happened in the past to decide how to best use that information to drive decisions on coaching and strategies for the future. And currently a lot of time is spent observing, and not as much time is spent actually doing the creative part of the sport. With AI systems such as Tactic AI, I don't think we'll have a system that directly recommends you need to do this strategy and no other strategy. I actually think that's the wrong way of looking at it. But if you see that Tactic AI is suggesting that certain players need to be moved significantly, that immediately tells you as an observer or a user that this player might be critical to either the success or failure of the tactic, and this saves you a lot of time because you don't have to fish out that player in a sea of 22 players, but you immediately know where to look. And this means you spend less time staring at previous things that have happened and making sense of them, and you do a lot more time with just taking those insights and deciding how to do the coaching. And I think that if coaches will have a lot more time to do the actual coaching part of their job, we're going to all together as fans and spectators have much more interesting, creative and diverse play on the pitch. So that's how I think the transformation will happen. Every technology that humanity invents, which is transformative, and AI will certainly be a transformative technology, is going to have impacts on the things that humans do and how they do them, right? So jobs being lost is not a new thing. Like AI it wasn't the first technology to make jobs obsolete. For example, if I take you only a couple of decades in the past, you were not able to go into an elevator without a trained operative controlling this elevator and pushing the buttons for you. Elevators were too complicated back then. Nowadays, the elevators are more advanced and every one of us can go in an elevator by ourselves and just do it by ourselves, right? Or sometime in the past when we didn't have cars, you needed people to basically control horses in a horse carriage, right? So those professions disappeared, but new professions have appeared as a result of new technology, adapting to it and figuring out how to use it in the best way. Just because you have a potentially intelligent system at your service does not mean that you necessarily will know out of the box how to best use it, how to control for the ways in which it can go wrong, and how to make sure that the system does not lead to unfavorable outcomes and actually gives the most value for the amount of effort you put into it. I think these are all things that will be the catalyst to the creation of new categories of jobs in the future. So yeah, some jobs maybe will not need to exist anymore because we will have a way to automate them robustly. But this does not mean that jobs as a whole will disappear. In fact, we'll get many new ones.